Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fudge Muppet. It's Michael here, and today we're talking about vampires and what would be cool to see in Elder Scrolls 6. So vampires in previous Elder Scrolls games have been fairly well done, especially in Skyrim with the addition of the Vampire Lord form. This left heaps of people, including myself, very happy. So what's your problem then, Michael? Well, there aren't any major problems, but there's a ton of room for improvement. The problems that do exist, in my opinion, were that the vampires weren't polarized enough. What I mean by this is in Skyrim that they didn't really have any solid weaknesses. Even though there were some drawbacks, you never had to worry too much. In Oblivion, you had major drawbacks like sun damage, which was super immersive, and you had really strong positives like massive bonuses to your skills. This is more what I want for Elder Scrolls 6, but of course in many ways, playing as a vampire in Oblivion could be pretty shitty because you were always getting crisped. That being said, with all the improvements we're seeing in gaming, Elder Scrolls 6 could easily detect shaded areas and cause vampires not to take sun damage in the shade. Sun damage could still stop stats from regenerating, perhaps even take away your powers and bonuses. Basically, they need to balance out the systems with some dangerous drawbacks and some super awesome positives. It's a pretty delicate system to get perfect, but enough of that, let's look at some awesome bonuses and added features many of us want to see. Maybe the number one thing that I want is to feel like a superhuman. I want to be able to have the power to jump higher, run and attack faster, and strike stronger in human form. Quick Dawnguard spoiler, so cover your ears for 10 seconds now, but remember when Serana effortlessly picked up the Snow Elf in the Touching the Sky quest? That was awesome, and that's how we want to feel playing as a vampire in Elder Scrolls 6. Of course, however, the powers should be separated among clans. Some clans should have all the fast movement speed and bonuses for a more melee character, and others would have bonuses for magic. Looking at improving vampire capabilities in human form, I want to draw your attention to a Skyrim mod called Better Vampires. This does in fact give you reduced fall damage, faster weapon speed, more powerful destruction magic, and a lot of powers. There's powers like Mortal Mask, which makes your face look human. The Vampiric Drain spell actually becomes really powerful. There's Mistwalker, which makes you turn into mist and move 30 to 70% faster. And when you get to the highest level of Vampirism, you don't take any fall damage. Vampirism also works a little differently. The more feedings you do, the more powerful you get overall over time, but the normal vampirism stages do still apply. So the longer you live, the better, but also if you haven't fed for ages, you will of course get even stronger. More powers, spells, and so on are definitely needed. Looking at Vampire Lord form, new perks like Evolved Wings are amazing. This is also from the Better Vampires mod, and this allows you to fly around instead of just hover. It'd be awesome if they actually turned into bigger bat wings though. One of our fans by the name of Aiden Jerd messaged us with his ideas on vampires, and a power he wanted was the opportunity to hypnotize people to pass a speech check. Personally, I think little details like this are sensational. Even if speech skill was low, sometimes there could be this option to get what you want simply through a sort of vampiric mind control. Something else he mentioned was for vampires to be able to control lesser undead like skeletons. Perhaps they would fight for you in battle or simply turn to your side through some sort of area spell. You know what else would be fully sick? Multiple clans. We know in Elder Scrolls lore there are all kinds of unique vampire clans that are often racial based, so yeah, more clans would mean that we'd see various unique vampires in Elder Scrolls 6. There is of course more room for clans to be created that we haven't been told about yet. If the game was set in Hammerfell, we could have tribal looking Redguard vampires that jump out of the sand and steal people to be their thralls. That being said, we already know a lot about vampire clans around the Hammerfell area. There are those gifted with great intellect, others who are skilled in elemental destruction magic, and the Kalari who paralyze their prey. There's a clan that is very resistant to elemental attacks, and even a bloodline that can cure paralysis and teleport. That's not even including all the clans around the Iliac Bay area in High Rock. As you can see, there's a lot of room for vampire factions, with the player being able to join these clans and fight against others. The clans are said to have many rivalries with each other. This would basically mean that vampire powers would be more diversified but also more spread out, giving people more choice and more playstyles. There are cool clans in all the provinces of the game, so it doesn't have to be set in Hammerfell for this to work. More vampire hunting factions would also be awesome, or even just more choices within the faction. But anyways, being a vampire, these hunters should come after you, and they should be more competent. The Dawnguard attacking you in Skyrim in many cases was quite pathetic. They just run in and start fighting like any normal bandits. There should be more vampire hunting specialists, like hunters using special crossbow bolts that turn you back from a vampire lord into human form, and also mages using sun damage spells. Imagine if they could coat their weapons in some sort of unique concoctions that are specially designed to really harm vampires and stop you from using any vampire powers. These new ways, not including the sun damage of course, because we already had that, but the rest of it would enhance vampire hunting if you are a vampire hunter yourself. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video and please do subscribe for more. My name is Michael and I'll see you all soon, ready to nerd out with some more Elder Scrolls discussion.